All right, so another week, another loss for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're officially going to drop to 5-4 on this NFL season so far. We're midway through the season, and the Chiefs don't look like the powerhouse, the dynasty, the juggernaut that everybody's making them out to be. This game was fucking horrible. I mean, he was absolutely atrocious. Terrible accuracy. Clearly, and it was obvious from watching the game, he wasn't reading coverage. He was just running around. He looked like, he looked like, I don't even know who he looked like in this game. He did not look like an NFL quarterback in this game. He was very easily flustered. There were times where he had all day to throw, but he was just sitting in the pocket, and then he'd start to run around. Like, you've got to make your decision quick. You can't just sit in the pocket and fucking wait all day. That's not how the NFL works. And I don't know. He just looked so lost in this game. That's very odd. That's not very Mahomes-like. Usually, he's more cerebral and he's accurate. He was so dog shit with accuracy. He missed so many passes. He was forcing so many throws in this game. I mean, he looked like a rookie in this game. He looked really bad. And their run game is just absolutely awful. They had, 60-something yards on the ground? They were averaging maybe 4 yards a carry in this game. Combined between everyone that got a carry, which is just bad, not very good. Hunt probably had like 2.5 yards a carry. He was just not very good or productive today. Run game needs to be addressed. Their defense could not stop anything. They couldn't stop Josh Allen. I mean, to be fair, Allen is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, but still, man, you've got to try to find a way to contain Allen, and they didn't do that in this game. Steve Spagnuolo and his defense, they didn't look sharp. Looks like whatever game plan they had coming into this game on both sides of the football did not work. I mean, Mahomes was just awful. Like, he was fucking garbage in this game. He literally played like a fucking Bishop Sycamore quarterback. I swear there are backups that could have played better than Mahomes today. He had a 40 completion percentage and no touchdowns. Let's be real. He threw 1 pick, but he should have had probably 4 or 5 interceptions in this game. There were 4 or 5 passes that should have been picked off. But, that's the luck of the draw. In the NFL, sometimes, things are going to go your way and they're not going to go your way. A lot of things went his way in this game when it comes to interception luck. But, eventually, once again, that luck is going to run out. He's going to have a game where he's going to throw 3-4 interceptions, and everyone in the media is going to be lambasting him, right? And it will be, rightfully deserved criticism. And this team deserves to be criticized. This team should not be 5-4. This should be a team with only maybe 1 or 2 losses. This team, once again, is staring down the barrel of 500. Right? And you can't make the playoffs if you have a 500 record unless the division, the conference you're playing in that year is trash. And the AFC doesn't look trash this year to me. There's some pretty decent teams in the AFC. And I don't know if they're going to make it being at or a 1 game above 500. I don't know. Maybe they sneak in, but I just don't see a path to the playoffs right now for the Chiefs. I don't care how many trash teams they beat up on, how many teams with backup quarterbacks they beat up on. They played a real team who is a good team with a good quarterback, and this is what happened. They didn't play. They didn't execute. Once again, the coaching was poor in this game. I don't know what the strategy in this game was. Honestly, was it just go out there and let Mahomes wing it? Because these play calls were trash, and Mahomes was just trying to improvise, a scramble drill every play. Once again, playing like he is in his rookie season. It was crazy to see how inaccurate and how just erratic and how he looked stupid, and he really did look dumb in this game. Like he didn't have a clue what he was looking at. He looked like, and you could tell he wasn't really going through progressions. And when he was completing passes down the field, it was because he had all day to throw and he was just running around and he was breaking the coverage. And it wasn't because he was good. It was because the defense got broken down, man. And that's another sign of concern is if your quarterback is playing like trash, like this mid-season, there's a problem. I'm not saying, you got to bench. No, don't bench Mahomes. There's no fucking point. Gardner Minshew's no better. Let's be honest. But still, man, it's not. What I'm trying to essentially get at and say in this video here today is basically that this is not an acceptable performance from a quarterback that is known to be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. And I was expecting, a close game. It was a close game, but still a close game with a tight finish. And let's be real, the Chiefs got the ball back, but you could tell, at the end of the game, but you could tell they're not going to there's no miracle. They're not going to score. He threw like 3 straight incompletions and game is over. He went, let's see, he went 15 of 34 in this game. Folks, 15 of 34. I know he had 250 yards, but he went 15 of 34 in this game. That, I don't even need to do the math on that. That is a low-ass completion percentage, folks. Don't even need to do math for that one. You don't need to be a genius to understand. It's the NFL. This isn't high school. This isn't college. You're not playing, and you're playing in the NFL. That's not something that's going to be tolerated. And there's things that need to change, man, because there's a lot of problems with this Kansas City team. You can't just say, oh, well, the talent's going to prevail eventually, they're going to string out like 5 wins together. No, they're not. You're not going to beat the top-end teams in the NFL playing like this, with your quarterback playing with this, with your defense struggling to contain the other team's quarterback and running game. You cannot win It's not fucking sustainable. So anybody who was saying, oh, they're just going to, they're going to turn it up and turn it on and they're going to start winning games, they're fucking not playing like this. They're not going to win fucking more than 10 games playing like this. And they'll be lucky to win 10 games playing the way they played in this game. This was an embarrassing performance. Offense, no run game. Mahomes was trash. Play calling was mediocre at best. Defense literally could not stop anything. If the Bills felt like it, they could have scored 40 points in this game, but they didn't want to. They were playing clock control in the second half of the game. That's what the Bills were doing. They were strategic. They were smart. They came in with a plan. They executed well, and they won this game. And the Chiefs looked lost every step of the way. And once again, that has to, if you're a Chiefs fan, make you a bit nervous, because if this team sees the playoffs and they have to play a good defense, what's going to happen? This team is regressing. Mahomes regressed this game, regressed back to the mean, like how he played at the start of the season like a fucking trash can. Yes, he strung like 2 good performances together, but still. We're seeing the Mahomes of the first couple weeks, not the Mahomes the last couple weeks. And that's not what you want to see. 5-4. 5-4. And what? You're behind the Chargers. You're behind the Broncos because they're 7-2. You're behind both those teams in your own division. So if you make the playoffs, more than likely, there's no way you're going to get a home game. You're going to be playing on the road, in a hostile environment in the playoffs. That's if you make the playoffs this year. It's not a guarantee at 5-4. It's a 50-50 toss-up at this rate in the season. And I don't know. I'm leaning more towards there's a chance this team misses the playoffs entirely with the team playing like this. I mean, they are really playing like complete ass. It's crazy. They are playing like a 500 team. The Panthers have the same record as the Chiefs. Both teams have 5 wins and 4 losses. That is crazy to me. How are you? Once again, I keep shitting on the Panthers. I'm sorry, but still, by the way, I would have taken Bryce Young in this game over Mahomes. Bryce Young would have made a more competitive game. Bryce didn't play the greatest game, but he did it. He managed the game. He played decent. He had a pick, but still, he let him down. Finley won the game, right? That's what he did. But Mahomes just was awful in this game. I don't know what the fuck he was looking at after that. This guy looks so fucking lost. I mean, he really does look like a rookie quarterback. And then you look at the defense, and then you look at just everything in totality. This is bad. Like, we're looking at a worst case scenario. Couldn't you imagine if this team misses the playoffs? First of all, I'll be the first motherfucker to make a video on that shit, because that would rake in a shit ton of views. And second of all, change would need to be made. Something would need to change. You can't just keep the same fucking players, the same coaching. I'm not saying fire Andy Reid, but something major would have to change, because it's not acceptable to a lot of people say, oh, well, it's just an off year, just wait till next year. No, the same thing will happen next year. And what I'm trying to say is things need to be figured out. They need to be figured out now, pronto, for the Chiefs, because if you keep having shit performances like this against good teams, then you are not going to find yourself winning many games. What, do they still play the Broncos twice, I believe? They play the Chargers again? I mean, come on. Do you see them winning those games? Fuck no. The fucking Chargers are going to run amok on them. The Broncos, Bo Nix didn't play great today, but he, once again, They found a way to win. They didn't score many points. It's mainly defensive, but still, the Broncos have a good defense. The Chargers have a good defense. And what do you think is going to happen with Mahomes against those teams? The way he's playing right now, he will not look good against those teams. I don't know, man. I'm starting to get the sneaking suspicion that this team has a fucking chance of missing the playoffs. They didn't start well. They picked it up a little bit, but they're right back to where they started. They're literally back to square one. Just because you won a couple games in a row doesn't erase this. This is a stain on this season, and I don't think it's going to be removed, folks. I think it's going to be even more amplified. I think this problem is going to become bigger. Right, because once again, you still play good teams on the schedule. There is a lot of stuff that needs to be worked out, or there's going to be trouble on the horizon in Kansas City. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mr. Truth, and this was nothing but the truth.